Okay, Kirsty, when you're ready.
Hello, Nuno. Quickly start with your team news. Any changes from the Newcastle game?
Yeah, we have players to assess, a couple of knocks to assess and see how they get ready for the game. Let's wait and see.
In respect to that Newcastle game, you talked afterwards about needing to analyse that 15-minute spell where things really went wrong. What did your analysis throw up? That
we made mistakes. It was clearly evident that we didn't know how to control that moment of the game. It was quick succession of attacks of Newcastle that we were unbalanced, and balls that bounce, change trajectory, all these things, but we made clearly mistakes.
What can you put those mistakes down to?
Better communication, better balance, and mostly dealing with momentum of the game, realizing that your opponent is strong, that you have to regroup, and we didn't know how to do that.
Can you take some real confidence from the character they showed in the second half, and maybe with a bit more added time, you might just have got a point out of that game?
Second half was different, was totally different. I think we played really, really good on the second half. Who knows, with more time we could achieve it. Who knows, if we achieve a goal sooner, we could reach what was a phenomenal coming back. Was not possible, but I think the players till the end keep trying, and we finished the game in a good moment.
In terms of your recent form, it's 3 defeats now from the last 4. Is this just a little blip, or is there something more concerning?
No, this is the reality of the game. This is the reality of the game. We have to realize that it's part of our journey, ups and downs, and not always possible to perform well. Sometimes your opponent is better than you, and just period. You have to realize that and move forward. But ups and downs, it's about reacting now.
And your home form has been much better. All those defeats have been away. You're back at home now. The last time you were here at the City Ground, it was that 7-0 win
it's been a while.
Brighton. Yeah. Can you take confidence from that home form?
We hope so. We hope that the City Ground helps us. We need all the help that we can get against such a tough opponent. But we hope that City Ground gives us the energy and the atmosphere to perform well.
Arsenal will be hurting after their result at the weekend. A lot of people are now writing them off in terms of the title. Would you write them off yet?
Yeah, so much football to be played yet, Chris. So much. So many games, so many things to happen. So many. Still a long way to go.
What do you make to them? Obviously, they've had their injury issues in terms of their forwards. Does that make them an easier prospect at the moment?
All the teams have been suffering absences of players that really impact on the performance and the game. But Arsenal, we're talking about a fantastic squad with a lot of options. So we are taking a really good care and realizing that they are good and we have to play.
Can you have the ambition going into this game that 3 points for yourselves, gives you a realistic opportunity of maybe leapfrogging them and potentially finishing second in this league? Can your ambitions be that big?
Our ambition is to perform, to play, and try to be better than we were in the previous games, and try to build a platform that we can compete till the end of the season. This is what we want to achieve from the game.
Mikel Arteta talked about Forest this morning and the job you're doing. He said it was remarkable. He said it was a very special story. Do people have to hold on to that? That what you've achieved already, I know you will say you've achieved nothing yet, but it has been remarkable. So when things aren't going so well and results aren't going so well, you kind of need to hold on to that, what you have done so far this season.
I appreciate the words of Mikel, but that doesn't change anything. And I keep repeating myself that this is reality. This is the reality. We have to recognize that the Premier League is very tough. All the opponents are very hard, and it's not always possible to perform better than your opponent. Sometimes you have to recognize that your opponent is better than you. Moving forward for tomorrow, what we want is to finish the game and say that we play a good game against Arsenal and we were stronger than them. That will be very positive for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Kirsty. Ivan.
Excuse me. No, you just touched on it there.
Yeah.
How much of an opportunity, actually, after recent results, indeed, your last performance, how much of an opportunity and a message you could send is the Arsenal game for you?
It's the next game is the more important one. I don't know really what you mean. For us, the message is always the same, because it goes related to our approach. We always want to compete against all the opponents, the best that we can, and tomorrow is that.
But in the sense that Arsenal are still seen as potential title contenders, also his comments were that over his dead body would he give up the title, Mikel Arteta. What about your own title prospects? Can we just hear what you feel about Forest chasing the title? You're in the top three.
We chase the next game. We chase the next game. This is what is on our minds. We chase the next one. From minute one, we have to chase everything that we want to achieve, knowing that it's very hard. To get any point in the Premier League, no matter where we are, it's very hard.
You've got two teams stung by defeat, wanting to amend mistakes that were made. What sort of a game are you expecting now?
A competitive game, played by good players. So what we can expect is a nice game to see.
And this season has gone very, very well for you. You learn often, though, more about yourselves in adversity, don't you? What are you learning about yourselves at the moment?
That we react better than before. If you go in a timeline, we didn't react at half time at Bournemouth. We were playing bad, and the game was very bad for us. 2 days ago was a good reaction. It was at half time, so we've been able to revert the momentum of the game. So that's positive, but not enough. We want to try and be sustainable through all the games. So we have to start the game better. We cannot afford the same mistakes that create such an immense gap to revert the result. Thank you.
Thanks, Ivan. Cameras off, please. Written section embargoed till 10:30.